Today I am making scones. This video is part of a collaboration and recipe exchange with Fiona over at Fiona in Her Kitchen. I shared my M&M cookie recipe with her, and she shared her recipe for scones with me. If you're a fan of simple and delicious home cooking, you should definitely check out her channel. Now let's get going on these scones. I started by weighing out 500 grams of all-purpose flour. They call it plain flour over in Ireland where Fiona lives. This collaboration initially came about because I made a video about cookies and Fiona left a comment saying that baking cookies is just not a common activity in Ireland. So we decided to exchange recipes. I sent her one of my most loved cookie recipes and she sent me her recipe for scones. Next, I'm weighing out 20 grams of baking powder and adding that to my bowl. I added 2 tablespoons of sugar to my flour and baking powder. If you'd like to try making these scones for yourself, I will have all of the ingredients and the recipe listed in the description down below. You should also check out Fiona's video on scones. Watch a real pro do this. I will definitely link that in the description as well. Fiona added cheese to her scones, so I am doing the same thing. I am adding 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. She said you could also add things like dried currants, raisins, etc., so you can kind of customize these and make them your own. I gave this a good mix before moving on to the wet ingredients. Next, I added 1 egg, 75 grams of melted butter, and about 250 milliliters of warm milk. Fiona advised that you may not actually need all of the milk, and she was correct in my case. So I would say just add it gradually as needed until your dough comes together. Eventually, I just gave up on my spatula and decided to use my hands. I kneaded everything together until I had a nice, smooth dough. Once my dough was all ready, it was time to roll and cut the scones. So I put the dough on a floured surface and kind of started by pressing it down. Then I rolled it out to about 1/2 inch thick. I used a water glass to cut out my scones. This one is about 3 inches across. You could also use a round cookie cutter or biscuit cutter if you have one of those. I ended up with around 15 scones. I laid these scones into an 8-inch by 8-inch cake pan. I'm sure you could also use a floured sheet tray. Just be sure to leave a little bit of space between your scones because they will expand. Before these go into the oven, they need to be brushed with a little bit of egg wash. So I used the leftover milk and added an egg to that and whisked it together. And then I brushed each of the scones with a little bit of this mixture. Lastly, I sprinkled just a little bit of sugar onto each one. I baked these at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. And here they are, fresh from the oven. These are an absolutely excellent vehicle for butter and jam. I'm using strawberry preserves here. These make a great afternoon snack with a cup of tea. Be sure to visit Fiona's channel and see how she did with my cookie recipe. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel by clicking on the red button below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video.